your girl got a physical arc. And I'm gonna tell you what I thought. Hello fellow book nerds, this is Gabby and today we're discussing With Fire in Their Blood by Kat Delacorte. So, like I said, this is my first ever physical arc. I won it in a raffle, okay? I didn't no one sent it to me, but it's still exciting. I still had a good time and I will cherish this copy forever and ever and ever. But let's talk about With Fire in Their Blood. Like I said, I won this book in a raffle. It was at YALC, which is Young Adult Literature Convention, part of Comic-Con. I'm assuming that's what it stands for, but I'm not actually sure. And I heard the author talk at a panel and I thought it was really interesting. Then the publication Penguin was doing a raffle and you just need to put in your number, and they called out mine, and I got the book. So that's how I came to know about this book, but I did think it sounded really interesting and I was really into it, so I was really glad to have received it. This was coming out on September 1st, which should be the day you're seeing this, but I am pre-filming, so who knows. Let's start with synopsis. So, in With Fire in Their Blood, we follow Lily, who is an American girl living in America. I don't know why I said it that way. With her father, her mother took her own life a couple of years back, so it's been her and her dad for a long time now, and her dad gets a job in Italy in a small town called Castello, somewhere in the mountains, and they decide to move, and they uproot their whole life to move to Castello, or Castello, I don't know, Castello, let's just keep it this way. Once there, she starts attending school and notices they have some weird ass rules. On her first day of school, a bunch of military men come to school and do blood tests on students, and she's like, what the hell's up with that? And apparently they're looking for these people called saints. So saints are people who have basically telekinetic power, I think. So in the history of this town, there's always been two families always fighting. Think Romeo and Juliet. These two families have been at war for a very long time, but they always had these people called saints who again have superpowers, and they just kind of grew up in the city. One day, two of these saints set fire to a building which had both people from the feud. New power comes in the form of a general who decides that, you know, we're going to call a truce, and instead we're going to focus on saints as the enemy. And now being a saint is outlawed, so if you get tested for your blood and it comes up positive, they're going to kill you. So that's kind of the basic setup. Let's get into the details. Let's start with writing as per usual. So I thought it was well written, although it did feel very YA, but it is a YA, so that's completely fine. I've just not been reading many YAs, and especially not been reviewing many YAs, so it just felt a little bit, you know, not quite to what I'm used to, but it wasn't bad. I think there was nothing particularly special about the writing, but nothing wrong with it either. So that's kind of where we landed on that. I do feel that way more could have been done to build up the atmosphere of the place. I mean, we have this small, creepy town that's like halfway decrepit, that has a massive like boundary wall, and I just feel like this could have been so lusciously explained and built up for us so that we really get a feeling of what this place is like, whereas I really didn't get that. I feel like in the beginning, okay, I maybe felt like they were going to mountains of Italy, but really lost that. They didn't pull through the whole book. And I also feel like, were we in Italy? We could have been anywhere. It didn't feel like the book was particularly authentic, although the author herself did live in Italy since she was like 11, so it's like, who am I to judge? Like, the author's actually done it, but I didn't feel like it fell through the book. Like, this is Italy, people are different, culture will be different, there'll be cultural norms and stuff. It just felt like America. As far as plot goes, I feel like there were multiple points throughout the story where I had to suspend my disbelief and really not ask questions. And this has got more to do with the setup of the story, so it's more like the whole two warring families, the feud, how much they hate each other, what they do with their life, what they do to like combat each other, like how long the feud's been going on. Like, it just all felt so contrived and made so little sense. It's very obviously inspired by Romeo and Juliet, but somehow it felt slightly less ridiculous in long time ago Fair Verona. It just felt a little bit, we all know adults here, and it was like current time. This isn't historical fiction, so it just all felt so a little bit. That being said, the book was really engaging and fast-paced and fun, and like the action was kept going, but there were a lot of questions I was left with that I really want answers on, and I want to find out, like, you know, what's up. I hope they get touched on, or I'm not holding. I mean, I hope they get sufficiently explained, although you know, some books can thrive as standalone, they're books in a series, but like a book could work as a standalone. This book 100% cannot work as a standalone because it has a cliffhanger, like cliff ending, nothing's explained, so there's that. Don't hate that. I feel like it's more common in YA anyway, so like I don't mind. Yeah, it just felt a little bit like these are adult people. We'll talk about that, but yeah, it was fun though. It was fun. So if you're looking for fun, I would go for it. Characters. So I wrote, why is everyone's name English? Again, it's like, I don't know. Lily, I mean, obviously she is American, so whatever, but I liked how inquisitive she is. She's the main character. I liked that she was skeptical, but also I like how much she cared about people and just was really invested and passionate into, like, you know, helping, supporting her people, and really grown to care about this place. The girl does have 3 love interests, but the girl's also bisexual or something. So one of the love interests is a girl. So I like that. But yeah, I thought at some point there was going to be 4 love interests, and I was like, you got too many, girl. Some people can just be friends. Contestant number 1, Christian. He seemed really nice in the beginning of the book, but it's like he's got so little page time. Who is this person? I don't even know him. And then Nico, the other contestant. Pretty much same. He had a little bit more of a compelling story and a little bit more development. Like, who is this man? I don't know. Then Liza, she definitely is the most complex and developed character with the most interesting motivations. But then they kind of come out of nowhere, out of the butt. So, like, I don't know. And then the adults. I wrote ridiculous. Every single one of them. This is town full of adults who just burn people on the stake, even if they're teenagers, do blood tests on teenagers, basically only have feuds with teenagers. Like, what? And it's just like, her father was so neglectful and ridiculous. Her mother was abusive, I think. I don't know. Every single adult, I was like, are you okay? In the 21st century? What are you doing? So those were the vibes. I don't know. And then we have themes. So definitely the blood feud was a theme. I don't even want to get started on how the existence of it wasn't ridiculous as much as like the logistics of it that felt ridiculous to me. Like, one side of the city is so rich, right? But there's like a rule against crossing the boundary. So it's like, oh, these people are rich because they have all these, like, I think mines or something, or resources. But like, who works to gather the resources? Why are you rich? How is every single one of you rich? Wouldn't some of you still have to work? I'm so confused. Then legacy, consequences of your parents' actions. Is that on you? Is that not on you? How it impacts you, people around you, how people perceive you. That was an interesting theme as well. And then abusive parents. Again, I think the mother was abusive. I think the dad was neglectful. It was all pretty dramatic, like pretty depressing. Other people have abusive parents. And overall, what did I think about this book overall? I don't feel like talking about it, so it couldn't have been that good. I had a fun time reading it, but it was very clearly young adult and very contrived at some points, but you know, it was still a good time. I would still recommend, if you're an YA reader, I would definitely recommend this. I think if I read this when I was like 17, I would have ate it up, and I already had a pretty good time. Like, it was really easy and quick to read, so that was fun. I think I'm gonna give it 3 stars, maybe 3.5, because for a YA I think it was really good. For my taste now as an adult, not so much. I probably would not have picked it up, this book, if I didn't get an ARC for free. I got it, so I was like, I gotta read it, like I gotta read it. But I will probably keep the sequel because now I'm invested and I want to know. It had its flaws, but overall it was a fun time. Let me know if you read With Fire in Their Blood. Quite a lot of people got the ARC, so I'm curious to see what other people thought. I'll be looking out for reviews. Again, I'm pre-filming this, so there you go. Go pick up a copy if what I said sounded interesting to you. Again, if you're into YA, I do think this is a good book. But if you enjoyed the video, if you comment, like, and subscribe, I really, really appreciate it. It really helps me out. That is it from me, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!